Hi, this is a video cast where I'm doing snippets of information about magnetic fields, and I'm doing magnetic devices. I've covered the magnetic pulse gun, but the important thing is the inductive magnetic rail to launch. It used to be hypervelocity missiles. Of course, the economics of having to build a big device with capacitors and stuff like that to fire something at a long distance is okay, but you can only sort of point it in one direction and go and fire a certain rate, where if you can build cruise missiles you can launch 50 of them to get through. This is a hypervelocity round. Where it's actually been used by the US, surprisingly, is to launch aircraft off their aircraft carrier. So you've got an aircraft, flat aircraft carrier, and you've got to get the plane off the aircraft carrier as quickly as possible. And the idea is that you need a much more powerful, so landing you can have a big rubber band and they can land onto it, and the rubber band can extract and hold back the plane. But taking off, the general thing is that you've got to build a longer and longer aircraft carrier, a bigger and bigger asset to fly off, and you've got these things that you need more bombs. It's obviously got a lot of bombs, so it takes a lot to push it off, so it's almost fired off. So what they've done at the moment, or previously they had, well, there's two things. There's the ramp one, where the aircraft are going along and they're pushed up, and the thrust can be built up as it's going over its landing. Can actually go, so your length of your carrier can be that to the apex of where it's going, so it's got a longer time to take off. But the way that the US are doing it is with steam launching. So it's a flat aircraft carrier, and essentially you have a steam piston, and so you've got boilers producing steam. The steam's relatively good. It's toxic, you can burn people with it, but it's a high pressure gas, and so you've got these steam things pushing it off. Now, of course, one of the things with an aircraft carrier is that your time to detect a threat and to get out as many planes as possible. So you've got planes coming in, there's no point, once the threat is there's no point having planes and stuff like that. You want to launch as much as possible off. So with steam, and you've also got to launch off, so you can't launch and re-enter at the same time. The US have, I think, 10 nuclear power aircraft carriers, far more than anyone else on Earth combined, but there's only one per fighting unit, so you can't fly off, oh, hopefully, I suppose they would change it. You can't fly off one, that one blow up and fly somewhere else. So you've got your generalised problem. The US are just so amazing. So you've got the steam, popping up. It's very interesting to see steam launching of intercontinental ballistic missiles, for instance. So your Minuteman, obviously if you have fuel and it blows, the bunker will destroy itself, so they have a steam ejection. You also see Russian multiple launches. They can launch missiles very quickly out of a confined space by having steam generation. Steam generation was also used for the V1, the Germans, to launch their cruise missiles. It had a peroxide. The peroxide would decay, producing high energy. Oh, sorry, I'm getting bitten alive here. Oh, let's talk about mosquitoes. So what you want to do is you want to create a rail gun. And to get a rail gun you need two rails, you need a piece of metal, and what happens is that as the current goes up, the current creates a magnetic field, and the magnetic field and the current pushes it. So or in other words, is you've got an area of flux, and it has a force due to the increasing flux on the inside. I'll see if I can explain it a bit better. These are sort of introductory YouTube videos. I'll have some links at the end which will probably explain it a bit better. But the general thing is that your US aircraft can actually just put a little throwaway rail there, conduction rail, and a person can hit the switch, I suppose there'd be solid state, or well, it's probably still valve breakdown. There's vacuum breakdown things to allow sufficient current of these supercapacitor banks. So this is something I have to talk about. Supercapacitors are these amazing. So your electrolytic capacitor, this is something which they don't tell you at school, is it's a gel, and obviously to stop the gel it has an insulating layer. So they don't tell you that there's a plate, and they have an insulation plastic and some gel. So your capacitor, your electrolytic capacitor has some gel on it, and to make a supercapacitor you create the surfaces highly shaped, so you can get a huge charge density, and you can discharge and store a huge amount of energy. So your nuclear reactors can be storing up all this energy density into capacitor charges. This capacitor charges can go to the rail and shoot the US aircraft up. And there's a little bit about the romance. I don't know what the romance is of steam place, and now you've got this frightening thing that the US aircraft carriers can just basically launch every couple of seconds another deadly radar invisible aircraft, sort of a frightening weapon when you come to think of it. So I hope that makes it clear. I'll have some links at the end for this.